All right, Rhys, welcome to Flight Experience Adelaide.
Thank you.
Here we are in our Boeing 737-800. Engines are running. We're at the hold point for runway 10 at St Martin's. So you've probably seen, it used to be on an ad, some commercial at some point.
Yep.
Planes coming in right over the top of the beach. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's that beach there.
Yeah, right.
All right. So yeah, we'll clear your engine. Before we do, I'll just run through the flight controls. So the first one you've got in front of you is the flight yoke. Like a steering wheel in a car, if you want to turn left, just turn it left.
Yep.
And if you want to turn to the right, just turn it right.
Yep.
That's it. Unlike a steering wheel, that doesn't move forward and back.
Yeah.
So if you're at the nose of the descend and if you want the nose to pitch down and start descending, just push it forward.
Yep.
And nose to pitch up and start climbing, just pull it back.
Yep.
That's it. Absolutely useless to us though, while we're sitting on the ground, doesn't do anything.
Yep.
So the 737 has what they call a tiller, which is that black handle on your left there. That's it. So that controls the nose wheel steering. And again, it's like a steering wheel bolted that way.
Right.
So if you want to turn the aircraft left, just pull it down.
Yep.
And if you want to turn it right, just push it forward.
Yep.
Very sensitive. So if you find you start chasing it, just let it go.
Yep.
Aircraft settles down.
Yep.
Have another go. So that's how like these aircraft will get from the gate and taxi around the airport and then onto the runway.
Yep.
Once we start accelerating for takeoff though, we start steering with the rudder, so the big vertical one on the back of the aircraft. And we do that with the rudder pedals.
Yep.
So to steer to the left, you just push on the left one, and to steer to the right, just push on the right one.
Yep.
The rudder pedals also do the toe brakes, so at the top of the pedals they push in. Can be a bit of a pain to get to in here, so when it comes time, I can help you with those.
Yep.
All right. In the middle here, we've got our throttle quadrant. So the two big levers, they're our thrust levers. If we want to go faster, apply thrust, we just push them forward. If we want to go slower, reducing thrust, we just pull them back.
Yep.
Got these two levers here. Probably heard this sound many times.
Yep.
So that's our reverse thrust. So that opens up a cowl on the engine and redirects thrust forward, so it helps the aircraft slow down.
Yep.
If you've looked out the window during landing, sometimes in flight as well, you've probably seen the spoilers that pop up on the top of the wings. It's because that's controlled here by our speed brake lever. This lever can be a bit of a pain to arm, so I can help you out with that one when it comes time.
Yep.
Alright, if you've looked out the window as well during landing and takeoff and landing, more so on landing, you've probably seen the flaps that come out the back of the wings. So what they're doing is making the wing bigger, changing the shape of it so it produces more lift, therefore the aircraft can fly slower. So that's why they're used at the slow phases of flight.
Yep.
Controlled here by our flap lever. So if you have a look over, you can see it's kind of in a V detent, so you have to lift it up, drop it in.
Yep.
Especially through these 2 points. So there's a gate there. If I just try and push it through, it won't go. I have to drop it in, lift it up, drop it in.
Right, yeah.
So just to get familiar, I'll get you to select flaps 5 for takeoff. Actually, here at St Martin's, I'll get you to select flaps 15 for takeoff. You'll see why in a second. We need all the room we can get here. Alright. And then either side of the throttle quadrant, we've got the trim wheel. Helps the aircraft fly nice and balanced. Don't worry too much about that. I've got buttons on my yoke.
Yep.
If we've got time, I can try and show you how it works and what it's doing.
Yep.
But just bear in mind, as you saw during Jeff's flight, they will move like that. Yeah. Alright. So they're the controls. Now we'll just have a look at the main instrument you'll be looking at. So right in front of you here is this colourful one, the PFD. That's the primary flight display. And right in the middle we've got the artificial horizon.
Yep.
So the brown, the blue is the sky and the brown's the ground.
Yep.
And that line that separates is the horizon. That little black dot's the nose of the aircraft, and these hockey stick looking things are the wings of the aircraft.
Yep.
So right now we're sitting level on the ground, and that's what the gauge is indicating.
Yep.
We've got these dashes going up, so 2.5, 5, 7.5, all the way up to 10.
Yep.
So if you were to picture the nose of the aircraft on that 10 there, then we're pointing to the sky at an angle of 10 degrees. And vice versa, if it's down here on the 10, then we're pointing to the ground.
Yep.
Also shows a turn, so if the horizon's at an angle, kind of like that, then we're in a left turn, and vice versa, in a right turn.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Sure does.
No worries. Just on the left there, we've got the speed tape, so like the speedometer in your vehicle, indicates how fast we're going. The only difference is that's measuring knots, so nautical miles an hour. A rough calculation, very rough calculation, is times it by 2, and you'll get kilometres an hour.
Yep.
On the right there, we've got our altimeter, so that's showing how high we are above sea level. So right now it's measuring about 10 feet, which is because the sea's just there, we're not very high.
Yep.
And yeah, so as we start accelerating and climbing, that number will increase. We'll go all the way up to 3,000 feet for the first one, and obviously the speed will start increasing as well.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's the plan anyway.
Yep.
Any questions on that stuff?
No.
All right. So we're getting into the runway now. So if you turn the transponder on, so that switch there, just flick that all the way around to the right.
Yep, that's something someone didn't do.
Didn't you?
I did. I was just saying, don't forget it.
So that's we've now just popped up on air traffic control's radar.
Yep.
They know what we're about to do just by that code that they've given us.
Yep.
I get you to turn all the landing lights on, so those 4 silver ones, flick those all the way down. There we go. And one last thing, fasten seatbelt sign, I get you to turn that off and back on again. That's it. That lets cabin crew know they need to take their seats, we're about to take off. Alright, I get you to disengage the pipe brake, so just push that forward till the lights out. That's it. Grab the thrust levers and give us about 30% of thrust. So these are like RPM gauges in the car.
Yep.
Showing thrust in a percentage. 30 is just in here, so it's not too far. About there, that's it. That's all you need. And then grab the tiller on the left, and I'll get you to follow this yellow line around. And we'll it'll basically turn us 180 degrees.
Yep.
It can be quite a challenging airport, and once we do the turn to the left, you'll see why. That's it. So bring it all the way down. There you go. A bit more. Keep going all the way down. That's it. All right. So what I'll do is I'll just use the rudder pedals and I'll line the aircraft up. Just coming back on. So about there. That's it. That's looking good. All right, and I'll just set the park brake.
Yep.
So one thing I'll have to point out is what they call the what's it called? Parallax error. So rather than the end of the runway being 2 kilometres away, like it is in the real world, it's only like 2 metres away on a screen.
You're right.
So we're both kind of having to look in towards the runway centre. So you're probably thinking we're off to the side a little bit. If you were to put your head in the middle of the cockpit here, you can see that we are smack bang in the middle.
Yep.
The easiest way to counteract that error is, do you see this gap here?
Yep.
You just put the runway centre line in that gap.
Yep.
Mine's pretty much bang on, so you should be pretty close as well.
Yep.
And that works coming into land. Even if we're 10 miles out, if you put the runway right there, we'll be coming in.
Yep.
All right, so now that we've got that out of the way, we'll just talk about the takeoff. So takeoff is 3 steps. Step 1 is the thrust levers get advanced up to 40%.
Yep.
Once they're stable at 40%, step 2 is we push this little black button in here. That's our toga button, so take off and go around power.
Yep.
Once that's pushed, the thrust levers automatically start moving all the way forward.
Yep.
And they'll apply maximum thrust without destroying the engines. Aircraft will start rolling. Then it's just a matter of steering with the rudder pedals. Both hands on the yoke, but try and keep that as straight as you can. And then down the other end of the runway, you'll hear me call rotate, and that's your cue to pull back.
Yep.
And we'll get airborne. We will need the aircraft nose as you rotate up to 15 degrees here.
Yep.
Now I don't normally point that out to people in here, but you can see the mountains
mountain,
there.
yep.
Yeah. So initially we want that nose up to about 15 degrees. Once we've cleared the mountains, we can lower it down to 10.
Sure.
And start accelerating.
Yep.
And we'll probably get a terrain warning, but we're all aware that there's terrain there.
Yep.
All right. So I get you to disengage the park brake. That's it. Thrust up to 40%. That's it. So you can see these little leading lines. If you just line those up to 40, that's where the thrust will stop.
Bit
That's
more? Or?
About there, that's good. So now that they're stable, I get you to push that little black button in there. Just try that one more time. One more. There we go. That's it. That's it. So a bit of left rudder. I don't think your feet are actually on the rudder pedals.
Oh,
there
they are.
Yeah, there you go.
A bit further back, yeah.
Okay, and rotate. Pull back a little bit more. About there, that's it. She'll come up. So nose is just coming past 10 now. And coming up to 15, that's it there. So you can kind of relax the yoke. That's it. Good. All right, so we're airborne now. We don't need the landing gear down. So with your right hand, I'll get you to pull that out and all the way up. That's it. That raises the landing gear. So that's 1,000 feet there. So we should be clear of that terrain. So if you just lower the nose now to 10 degrees.
Yep.
That's it. I'll get rid of the flight director for you. There you go. That's it.
Pull up.
That's the warning that it's telling us.
Pull up.
Yep.
All right, I'll get you to
1,000.
retract the flaps to flaps 5. That's it. So as you lift it, bring it forward.
Oh, it's lift, isn't it?
Yep. So just drop it in. As you lift, there you go. All right, aircraft is now accelerating. That's what we're looking for. Okay, now we can go to flaps 1. So as you lift it, yeah, that's it. Drop it in. Good. We're going up to 3,000 feet. So if you have a look on your right there, there's the altimeter.
Yep.
So you want to kind of anticipate. So when you see about 2,900, you can lower the nose.
Yep.
And start leveling off. That's it. I'll clean up. Landing gear off. Auto brakes off. Engine starts off. Landing lights off. There you go. So if you lower the nose now, so pushing forward, a little bit more. So bring the nose back down to about there.
Yep.
That's it, right there. Perfect. All right, good. So if you just lower the nose just a little touch, so what we want to do is we want to put the nose at about 3.5 degrees. So bang in the middle, bring it up just a little bit more. A little bit more. So right about where the black dot is, a bit more. So that's at 2.5 now. So if we put it on 3.5, so just a little bit about there. That's it.
Above the line, yep.
Yep. What you'll notice is the altimeter pretty much. Oh, it's got a little bit of a climb, but that's all right. Just get rid of that. So at 3.5 degrees, we'll maintain the altitude.
Yep.
So that works for straight and level.
Yep.
So if you just bring the nose back up to about there, that's it, and you'll notice that there you go. The altimeter just stopped dead.
Yep.
So we're maintaining. So that's a good little trick in the 737. All right. What we'll do now is we'll turn to the right. So to initiate a turn, you just basically grab the yoke,
Yep.
turn it till about there.
Mhm.
So if you want to do that now. That's it. So that's a good bank angle there. Once you've found a good bank angle, that's it. Exactly what you did there. You just kind of knocked it back. But what you'll notice is the nose starts to drop.
Yep.
So what we need to do is apply some back pressure. So if you pull back on the yoke, and the trick in a turn is to put the black dot bang on the 5 line. So pull back a bit more. A little bit more. So that's 2.5 there. A little bit more.
Oh, yep.
Right there. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a look at your altimeter now, it's pretty much stopped dead.
Yep.
There you go. Excuse me. So off to your left, there's another island. I don't know if you can see that. That's St. Bart's.
Right.
That's got a quite a difficult G8, like light aircraft approach.
Yep.
And then that island just off our nose is called Saba.
Yep.
And it's the shortest runway in the world that carries passengers to it.
Yep.
It's about 400 metres and it's
Oh,
on
wow.
like a plateau.
Yep.
So either side of the runway is, well, either end of the runway is like that.
Yeah.
And the runway's right there and it's like 400 metres long.
Yep.
All right, what I'll get you to do now, Rhys, I'll get you to roll out of the turn. So to roll out of the turn, you'll actually have to turn the yoke to the left.
Yep.
Like you're turning the aircraft left. That's it. Get them level, and then you can release any back pressure you've got in the yoke, bringing that nose back down to about 3.5 degrees. So about there. That's it. All right. So we've taken off. We've done a right turn. We're going to fly past the airport.
Yep.
And then we're going to do another couple of right turns and come in, and we're going to do our touch and go. So touch and go, just like Jeff did. It's a we will land, but we're not going to stop. We're going to take off again. So as we start descending, you're going to hear the aircraft call out our altitude. It'll call out 1,000, then it'll call out 500, then it'll call out 100.
Yep.
And that's calling out feet, basically feet above the ground.
Yep.
At 100 feet, we're going to be pretty much over the top of the runway, ready to land. So what I'll get you to do at 100 feet is bring the thrust levers all the way back to idle.
Mm-hmm.
So all the way back. And then at the same time, just start pulling back on the yoke.
Yep.
Because we'll be coming down kind of exaggerated, but like that.
Yep.
So pulling back on the yoke just raises the nose,
Yep.
so we land on the big wheels we've got at the back.
Yep. Yep.
And then it's just a matter of steering with the rudder pedals. Actually,
I'm going to go forward a bit.
If you just have a look down where your feet are, you can see the pedals?
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. So I think on takeoff you had your feet under them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's alright, I'll just correct this. There we go. Alright, so what we'll get you to do now is we'll start a descent. So the easiest way to descend in 737 is to push forward on the yoke and basically put the black dot on the brake right there, like a brick on a wall. So if you, yep, that's it. So if you just hold the black dot there,
Yep.
and we'll go down to 2,000 feet. So again, in it, the descent's like the climb. You want to anticipate by 100 or 200 feet.
Yep.
So when you see about 2,100 on the altimeter, you can just start bringing them back.
Yep.
Alright, I'll just get the engine starts. If you want to turn these 2 landing lights on, and the 3 white ones here, the runway turn off and taxi. That's it. Alright, so there was 2,200. Coming up to 2,100, there you go, so yeah, that's it. Beautiful. Bring it all the way back up to about 3.5 degrees. Good. Alright, what I'll get you to do is just a little bit of a right turn. We'll do a little bit of a course correction here. That's it, about there. You can roll out there, that's good. Alright, what we can do now is we can start getting the aircraft configured. So the first thing we can do is we can start slowing the aircraft down.
Yep.
So you've seen the thrust levers moving by themselves.
Yep.
They're trying to maintain the speed that we've set there, which should be 230.
Yep.
So like cruise control, I guess. If you turn that to the left till it reaches 200 knots. Yep. There you go. What you'll see, thrust levers start to come back.
Yep.
And the aircraft will now try and maintain that speed for us.
Yep.
Alright, what we can do now is we can start another right turn. So just like the other ones, that's it. And remembering just to try and hold that black dot on the 5 line. Once you find a good bank angle, just release the yoke a little bit. Because what will happen in an aircraft, if you just hold the yoke like that, it'll just keep turning and turning and turning and turning till it's on its belly.
Right.
So when you find a good bank angle, you see how we didn't kind of bring it all the way back. We just kind of
moved it.
You just want to sit there and playing with it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I was still going to go, don't I?
That's it. Alright, you can roll out of that there. That's good. That's it. As you roll out, you can release any back pressure you might have had in the turn. There you go. Alright. So what I'll get you to do now is we'll go to flaps 1.
That was one, wasn't it?
That's it. And we'll slow the aircraft down. We'll slow it down to 180. Alright, so we'll have one more turn to make, and then we should be fairly lined up at the runway. All goes according to plan, that is.
Turn now?
Not quite yet. What I'll get you to do is just
yep.
go to flaps 5. That's it, and we'll slow down to 160. And when you've done that, you can start that right turn. That's it. That's it, perfect. Yep, hold that bank, that's good. Alright, I've got the runway in sight, so it's just there. So you can see red and white lights. So they're the approach lights. We're looking to land pretty much in between those two.
Yep.
That signifies like the landing point of the runway.
Yep.
That's it, keep it going around. Alright, you can roll out of the turn there. That's it. So we're a little bit left, but that's okay because the heading we've got now, we're going to come back onto the centre line and then we can just do a little bit of a left turn and correct that. That's
okay.
Fine. So what I'll get you to do now is I'll get you to lower the landing gear. We'll go to flaps 15 and we'll slow to 150. That's it. So you see how we're coming back onto the runway centre line now?
Yep.
So I'll get you to start a nice gentle turn to the left. That's it. Remember, you want to put the runway right there.
Yep.
That's it. A little bit more to the left. Touch. It's looking good. Good. That's it.
1,000.
Alright, I'll get you to go to flaps 30. That's it. Just roll to the right, just slightly bring those wings back to level. That's it. Alright, so that's one of all that flaps coming out now. It wants to balloon, so
yep.
the aircraft, all that drag and lift. So if you push forward, that's it. And I'll get you to set a landing speed of 135. Actually, correction, I'll get you to set a landing speed. Oh, yep, 135 it is, yep.
1,000.
135, that's it.
Yeah. Yep.
Alright, and I'll get you to go to flaps 40. It's looking good. So we're a little bit to the left, so I'll just get you to start coming to the right slightly. A little bit of forward pressure on the yoke. We're just a touch high. That's it, a bit more. Bring it down. There you go. Alright, we'll get back onto our
approaching minimums.
Sorry.
Back onto our landing.
Minimums.
So we're a little bit high. We're just going to come in. There we go.
Sink rate
Now, if you start pulling
500.
back on the yoke, pull back. A little bit more. That's it. That's looking better. Good. Alright, get you to put your right hand on the thrust levers. When you hear it say 100, push them all, pull them all the way back, and at the same time start pulling back on the yoke, nice and gently.
Yep.
100.
There you go, all the way back. Bring that nose up.
50.
About there, that's
30.
it. Hold it there.
20. 10.
Good. Alright, so steering with the rudder pedals now.
If I can find them.
That's alright, I can help you there.
There they are.
Alright, what I'll get you to do now is go full thrust, so push them all the way forward. Okay, and rotate. So bringing the nose up to 15. Right about there, that's it, good. Alright, I'll get you to raise the landing gear. That's it. I'll get you to go to flaps 5. That's it. And now you can lower that nose down to the 10 line. This time we'll just go up to 2,000 feet.
Yep.
So again,
Pull up.
anticipating at about 1,900.
Pull up.
There you go. Bring that nose down. That's it. Good. Alright, what I'll get you to do now is I'll get you to retract the flaps the whole way. So flaps all the way up. Yep, so as you lift
terrain.
it forward.
Pull up.
There you go. Landing gear off, auto brakes are off, engine starts off. Landing lights off. Alright, good. So what I'll get you to do now is we'll go to the left this time, we'll buzz the island. And this time we'll go through 180 degrees, so we'll basically face back the way we're coming now. So
yep.
If you want to start that turn now. That's it. So that's a good bank angle there. You can kind of knock that yoke back to the right, just like that's it. Good. Another little runway in here somewhere as well.
Oh, yeah, I can see it there. Yeah.
Oh, you got? Oh, there it is. Yeah. I'll get you to roll out the turn there. So yoke back to the right, bring those wings back to level. That's it. Bit more. Cool. Alright, nice job. So what we're going to do now, again, we've taken off, we've done a left turn, so you've got the runway on your side now.
Yep.
So we're going to fly past, we're going to come in, we're going to do our full stop landing.
Yep.
So it's basically everything's the same, 100 feet, bring these back, start pulling back.
Yep.
Exactly what you did last time. The only difference is we're going to stop.
Yep.
So what I'll get you to do is we'll go auto brakes to 2. I'll arm the speed brake. There we go, which is indicated there. So on touchdown, the aircraft's automatically going to apply wheel brakes.
Yep.
And it will automatically deploy the speed brake, so that lever is going to come flying back.
Yep.
The only other thing is once we have touched down and we're nice and stable, we get you to pull the reverse thrust.
Yep. Does this... Oh, that's already down, isn't it?
So that'll already be back, yeah.
Yep.
It won't actually let you pull them if they're, they're forward.
Yep.
That's it. So trim.
Yeah.
So it's basically what it does is you can trim control column forces out.
Yep.
Alright, so see how if you try and hold the black dot on the 3.5, so put it, try and hold it right there. Yep. So if I just, doesn't matter what I do, just try and hold it there. Alright. So so what are you doing? You're pushing forward a lot, aren't you?
Yeah.
So what trim does, watch this, if I just trim that out for you.
Am I still fighting it?
Yep, so you're still flying, just try and hold the dot on 3.5. So you're holding less forward now?
Yeah.
Still holding forward though?
Yeah. And now I'm not, yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
So you can control, you can basically now fly with your fingertips.
Yeah, right.
And that's great if you're, say, especially in a light aircraft, if you're climbing from, you know, ground level or you know, sea level up to 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
You can realise by 10,000 feet, if you're having to pull back the whole time, you're going to be knackered. So you can trim it out. So the aircraft will continue to fly, but you can just be doing this.
Yep.
And this aircraft also has rudder and aileron trim.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're having to hold it that way, maybe due to a crosswind or an engine failure, you can trim that out as well.
Yep.
And you can trim out any... Sometimes rudders... there's like a horn tab on them, so you can, on the ground, you can balance the rudder, but sometimes it's not quite right.
Yep.
So I've had it in light aircraft where you've had to just hold the rudder for like 3 hours, and these aircraft, that aircraft didn't have rudder trim.
Yep.
But in here you can trim that out as well.
Yep.
All right, makes sense.
Somewhat, yes.
Yeah. So I'll get the engine starts. If you want to turn the landing lights on, so just flick that down. One more. That's it, and then these 3 ones here. There we go. I'll get you to slow the aircraft down. We'll slow down to 200 knots. And then when you're ready, I'll get you to start a left turn. That's it. Alright, while we're in the turn, I'll just get you to go to flaps 1. That's it, and we'll slow down to 180. Let's go. That's it. Keep that turn going. Alright, so we should see the runway pretty shortly. There it is. Alright, so I'll get you to roll out of the turn there. Again, we're still kind of to the left of it, but that's alright because we've rolled out early. We're going to come back onto the runway centerline, then we can do another bit of a left turn and come in. Alright, I'll get you to go to flaps 5. And we'll slow to 160. That's it, looking good. So we're coming back onto the centre line, so you could start a gentle left turn now. That's it. Put that runway right in that gap on your windscreen. That's it. Good. Good. Keep going. A little bit more, about 5 degrees more. We're pretty much bang on there. There you go. Alright, nicely done. I'll get you to go landing gear down. We'll set flaps 15. And we'll slow to 150. So you can see all that flaps now. You're having to hold forward pressure.
Yep.
So what I generally do now is I trim that out so you don't have to do that. See it? That makes it easier?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll get you to go to flaps 30. We'll slow down to 140. That's it. Even more flap, it wants to balloon even more.
Yep.
So I'll trim that out even more. That's it. That's it. What we're looking to do is you're looking to put the runway about there, and you want it about a third of the way up the windshield. So see how it's coming down the windshield now?
Yep.
If you were to push forward,
yep,
that brings the runway back to where we want it. So a little bit more forward, bring it to about a third, about there. Try and hold the runway right there.
Yep.
What I try and teach, if it starts to move around in the windshield, then we're not flying towards it.
Yep.
So we just want it to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And you're controlling where it is. So see how it's starting to move to the left?
Yep.
If you just turn to the left, that'll stop that. That's it. That's stopped it there. Beautiful. All right, I'll get you to go to flaps 40. And we'll set a landing speed of 134 this time. That's it. Help you with a bit more trim. That's going to want to balloon it even further. There we go.
Approaching minimums.
That's it. So see how the runway's still starting to move left?
Yep.
So if you turn left, a
Minimums.
bit more. That's it. That'll bring the runway back to where you want it. There you go.
500.
That's it. See, now it's coming right. That's what we want. We want it to come back into this gap here.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. So now a little bit right. Just straighten it up. Stop it. There you go.
Bit more, is that right?
No, that's good. That's
Yep.
good. All right, I'll get you to put your right hand on the thrust levers. So you're listening for 100 again.
Mm-hmm.
So once you hear 100, you can bring them all the way back.
100.
There you go, all the way back. Now start pulling back on the yoke.
50.
Bit more,
30.
bit more,
20.
bit more.
10.
There you go. All right, now you can grab the reverse thrust. That's it. So once we slow down through 60 knots, which is about now, you can disengage the reverse thrust, and I'll help you with the brakes. All right. So what I'll get you to do, see how there's this little cutout in the edge of the runway?
Yep.
So if you grab the tiller now,
Right
steer
is
towards
that
it,
way.
yeah,
Yep.
and then we'll swing the whole aircraft around in that little... That's it. So go as far to the right as you can. That'll give you the best chance to bring it around. That's it. So I'll go flaps up, speed brake up, turn the flight directors off, turn the APU on. That's it. If you pull it all the way down now, ProVict on. That's it. So we'll just follow. We have to backtrack down the runway here because there isn't any taxiways.
Yep.
They don't have the room. So we'll backtrack down and then we'll turn and park it at the gate.
Yep.
So there's two terminals here. You see how there's looks like the air traffic control tower on top?
Yep.
So that's the GA terminal. Like you'd get your little aircraft going to St. Bart's or Saba.
Yep.
And then just behind that is the big international terminal.
Yep.
So what I'll get you, this is the taxiway going to the domestic, or the light aircraft, and I'll get you to turn to the next one. So not this one here.
This one, yep.
But this one coming up, that's
Yep.
it. And I'll help you with some toe brakes. So you're just basically following the yellow lines around. That's it. So you can go to that gate dead ahead. So if you just continue to follow the yellow line. I'll get the lights now that we're off the runway. Transponder off.
So were you a commercial airline pilot yourself?
No, I haven't actually flown one of these. But
Yeah, right.
so if you just follow this yellow line here, that's it, to the right, and then we'll go to this one. That'll direct us straight to the gate. I've got a commercial pilot's license, but
Yep.
I don't fly these
Yeah.
ones.
Yep.
Alright, I'll help you with the toe brakes. There we go.
Stops on a dime.
I'll get you to set the pipe ropes, just pull that back. Alright, so on landing, I turn the APU on. So APU is like a little generator. It's not a jet engine that's in the tail.
Yep.
It's basically supplies electric power when the engines aren't running.
Yep.
So what we can do is we transfer electrical power from the engine generators that are running now. We'll transfer it to the APU generators. So
Yep.
those two switches there, anything up here with a knurl on the end, you have to pull out first.
Yep.
So if you grab this switch here, pull it out and down. That's it. And then that one there. That's just transferred power over to the APU.
Yep.
And if you're ever in an aircraft and they've just landed and approached the gate and the lights flicker, that's what they've just done.
Yeah, right.
All right. So now that we've done that, we can turn the engines off. So down here are the cutoffs. So if you grab both of those, pull them out all the way down and then in. That's it. So that shut the engines down. All right. What we can do now is turn the fuel pumps off for the engine. So those two ones there, pull them out and up. That's it. That far one on the end there. And we leave that one on because that supplies fuel to the APU.
Yep.
Alright, I'll get the lights. If you want to turn these two, the electric hydraulic pumps off, so the two in the middle. That's it, and we'll flick the fasten seatbelt sign off. Alright, so this is how the aircraft will be left if we were going back to Miami or wherever we came from. But so we'd be entering our new flight plan now going back. Passengers will be getting off, new passengers coming on. But say that's it, that's the last one. We get to go to the pub now. We can shut the aircraft down. So what I'll do now is, where were we? Alright, I'll get you to turn the window. They should all be on. But I'll get you to turn these four switches, I'll get you to turn those off. So that's like with no demister in a car.
Yep.
I'll turn the aircons off, so aircon O/valve off, so I'll turn the and the fans off. So basically we're just doing like a scan like this, pumps off. I'll get you to flick that black cover up and then flick the switch up and then just leave it like that. That's it. Continue to go up. We don't touch that yet. I'll get you to turn the yaw damper off, so that switch there, flick it up. The navigation system off, so these two switches, turn those around to the left. That's it. What I can get you to do now is flick the APU off. That's it. Turn the pump off, so pull it out and up. And then flick this black cover up here and flick that switch off. That's aircraft off.
Easy.
All right. Good
Thank you
job.
very much.
No
Cheers.
worries.
There's a lot to it, isn't there?
There is, yeah.